Hi, I'm Gregg LeFevre, and this is the Compulsive Storyteller, a series of short personal stories where we explore the idea that truth can be stranger than fiction. This week's episode is entitled, Funny Christmas Disaster. Funny Christmas Disaster. Each Christmas season starts with Mom reviewing the 3x5 cards in her little metal filing box, where she meticulously indexes the people who've not sent us a Christmas card for the last 2 years. These people are summarily removed from the mailing list, with exceptions made for my father's boss and his boss's boss. This exercise has always struck me as not exactly in keeping with the spirit of the season. Our next Yuletide event is heading out to a Christmas tree farm where you can cut your own tree. This year, the Utica area in upstate New York has received a record snowfall of 110 inches, which makes for hiking into the Christmas tree farm without wearing traditional webbed snowshoes a really tough slog. My little toddler's sister in her puffy snowsuit has fallen behind a bit, and when we look back, she has completely disappeared. Dad and Mom panic and run back as fast as they can. Because they're hurrying, they miss the hole which she created when she fell down in the deep snow, so now their panic becomes frantic. Luckily, in retracing their steps a second time, they find the hole, and when they dig her out, she is giggling sweetly, which makes the rest of the family dissolve into laughter too, and we all fall down backwards in the deep snow with a collective sigh of relief. Phew! Then, as long as we're lying down, we decide to each wave our arms and legs and create a giant circle of snow angels. We end up spending an inordinate amount of time looking for the perfectly shaped tree, and I sarcastically comment that what we're really trying to find is a tree that looks exactly like the little cardboard deodorant pine tree that hangs from the rearview mirror of our car. We have tied red ribbons to several trees to mark our favorites, and by now we're all freezing and pressuring Mom and Dad to decide. Dad makes the choice and uses his crosscut handsaw to topple the tree, and we begin the slog back to the car, with Mom now carrying my little sister. As they do with so many things, my parents disagree about exactly how to tie the tree to the roof of the car. My father prevails, but only because of his superior knot-tying ability, gained when he was in the Merchant Marines. Back home, the 4x4-foot plywood panel with the metal tree holder attached at its center is positioned in the corner of the living room, and the tree is tipped up into it. The hand screws are twisted into place and untwisted several times before we achieve perfect verticality. Dad, too, has his own compulsions. Next, the tree is decorated, with the finale being the placement of the pointed star ornament at the very top. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Mamma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. By Clement Clark Moore. On Christmas morning, presents from under the tree are opened, with each family member taking a turn. Dad is given the honor of choosing first and pretends to be enthusiastic about the usual neckties, socks, and gloves he receives. Mom is sincerely enthusiastic about all the artwork she gets made by us kids. Once again, my parents succeed in fooling me. For months leading up to Christmas, I've been pushing incessantly for a new blue Schwinn bicycle and scour the house right up until Christmas Eve looking for where it's been hidden. After we open the last of our presents, my supposed bike is not among them. When I disappointingly trudge up the stairs to my bedroom, there by my bed stands a sparkling new blue bike. I'm so surprised and moved that I have to stifle my tears as the rest of the family bounds up the stairs to witness my amazement. I have no idea how, when, or where they hid the bike and then magically levitated it into my bedroom while we were all unwrapping our gifts. Christmas is over now. On New Year's Eve, while my sisters and I watch TV to see the Times Square ball fall, Mom and Dad attend the annual holiday formal dinner dance with their group, the Debonaires.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! We did it!
A few nights later, while Dad is helping me with my homework in my bedroom, we hear a crackling sound, like a fire. God, that sounds like a forest fire, my dad says to me with alarm, just as Mom starts to scream, "Bill! Bill!" from the living room. She and my sisters have clipped all the branches from our very dry pine tree and stuffed them into the fireplace. Mom then begins to teach my sisters a lesson about how flammable dry pine boughs can be. As she flicks a lighted match onto the branches, they burst into flames. The only problem with the lesson is the flue is closed. My dad and I rush into the living room to behold a broad swath of flames rushing out of the fireplace and up the wooden chimney facing and mantel above, lighting them on fire. Dad takes charge and yells, "Get back, everybody, get back!" He then reaches into the flames and badly burns his arm and hands while he twists the red-hot knob to open the flue. The flames now rise up the chimney, but the mantel and wooden chimney covering are still on fire. Dad orders me, "Gregg, get some water from the kitchen." I quickly race into the kitchen, realizing that this is my chance to be a hero. The problem is that because I'm wearing socks, I slide right past the kitchen sink, across the linoleum floor. But I save the day with some quick thinking. Instead of wasting time looking for a large pot in the kitchen cabinets to fill with water, I grab a big baking dish from the sink, which is filled with water to soak off some of the remains of last night's cheese casserole, and race back into the living room. As I attempt to turn right toward the burning fireplace, my speed, my inertia, and the hardwood waxed floor conspire to force me to continue to slide straight ahead into the bookcase, splashing cheesy water all over myself and the books, while the casserole dish smashes into pieces on the floor. Both my sisters laugh uproariously at my antics, while my dad has succeeded in using a blanket to put out the last of the flames. Both he and my mom are coughing uncontrollably from the smoke, and when they start to laugh as well, they emit a series of strange gasping, gurgling, wheezing sounds, the likes of which none of us have ever heard before. The result is that we all lose muscle control and sink to the floor, laughing, crying, and coughing. This becomes a legendary story of our best Christmas ever. Are you ready to tell your own story on The Compulsive Storyteller? We're launching a new segment of guest storytelling, and we want to hear your stories. Email a voice recording to hello@thecompulsivestoryteller.com.